Hello, Internet. This is BoneCarlos coming to you live from Whirlwind LE or Ladder Edition to bring another StarCraft 2 Shoutcast sword. I think the players today are going to be WhiteT or WhiteT spawning as the blue Zerg. His opponent is going to be Starkiller X as the red pieces of the same race. So a ZVZ, a very volatile matchup on a very, very large map. Even though they are spawning in the close positions by air and I guess by ground, it's still got a lot of ground to cover. I mean, you got multiple attack paths coming down, coming up, down, left, right. The third expansion is there, and this reminds me very much of certain maps where if you, depending on where you spawn on counterclockwise position, it'll be semi-difficult to grab an expansion, but it looks like this one was fixed a little bit, since this this expansion could very well be taken without fear of getting dropped on, especially if you're going up against Terran or really just counterattacks. This middle expansion is going to be very difficult to take by either players, mainly because it's going to be an attack path on both sides. Both of these overlords are going to scout each other out. And I'm going to go ahead and give a little kiss as they fly by and onto the perspective paths. And like I said, it's a ZVZ, very volatile matchup. I know in Rings of Liberty it was a lot of Ling Wars followed into Banelings, and then it transitioned into maybe Mutalisk play. There was a little bit of a variation sometimes where they would go Roaches instead of Banelings. And either way, regardless, it was a fun time to watch in Wings of Liberty. I'm interested to see exactly what happens in Heart of the Storm, since I haven't seen much of ZVZ. And already we see WhiteT going for spawning pool extractor around the same time. So this just leads me to believe he's going to go ahead speedlings very quickly, while Starkiller does a little bit of a deviation. You know, he's already grabbing his expansion, but at the same time grabbing an extractor. This leads me to believe he's going to go for a more longer macro style game. He's going to use this extractor for early gas to try to get himself some sort of higher tech. That's just an inkling that I get, since he didn't get him around the same time and he went for that earlier expansion. So I think that's what Starkiller has in mind, or he might just be waiting until this gets to a certain point, about 500 health, so he can start mining gas, or maybe he's just a little bit busy doing something else. One will never know, but he is just going to go scout his opponent's main base. He's going to see everything normal. There is no queens on the field just yet. Maybe WhiteT was just saving up his minerals for that expansion. So hatchery first versus spawning pool first. Let's see what happens. It's going to be a very precarious situation for Starkiller, since if WhiteT decided to go with, you know, straight off 6 lings right off the bat, but he didn't. He just hung out, used another larval wave for drones, and Starkiller actually felt the pressure just a little bit, constructing a spine crawler in his opponent's main base. 3 drones will be enough, I think, to bring it down. So that's more just of a little bit of a cheekiness going on. And there he goes. He's going to go ahead and build it again. This queen is there. It pops. It's there. It's ready. He's going to repel this very, very easily. WhiteT doesn't really feel any sort of need to pull drones off yet again. Looking at the income tab, we see the harvest count around the same. So really, this is I say Starkiller is just using this as a scouting tool more over than some sort of cheese. He's already grabbing an extractor, so he might let this one finish, since it does build faster than the damage can be done by a single queen. But Zerglings are there. They're finally going to target it down. And Starkiller is still droning heavily up, just counting on this drone and these buildings to just delay any sort of early aggression as soon as possible, while he has time to build up his own drone count and start building his own spy crawlers on his side of the on his side of the map. Finally, I mean, technically you can call this a bed, since this is a bed of creep. Boom! I love it. I turned that around. You know, possible embarrassing situation turned into a win, in my opinion. In my books, don't take that away from you guys. I will hurt you if you try. Where are those Zerglings? Those Zerglings are pretty key for them. They're just hanging around his base, so he's not really doing anything. I know Starkiller already spotted these, so he's not going to surprise them with some sort of Ling run by. Actually, the Zergling run by can still happen. I mean, go straight up, half up into the main base, half into here, and do some sort of damage. Already Evo chambers are getting put down. I would like to see one back here to block any sort of run by through the back. Double queen, single spine crawler. If it was a head-on assault, I would give it to the queen spine crawler combination. But here we go. Zergling's going to go straight after the queen. This is going to be a huge deal. One queen already goes down. Starkiller's trying to micro it away, trying to keep it alive as long as possible. Manages to get it down into the red. Zerglings are going to surround that spine crawler. Great play by WhiteT. Focused down the queens almost immediately, and then went after the spine crawler as well, so huge damage. I mean, even though he did lose plenty of Zerglings, this opens up the path for another wave of Zerglings to come in. 12 more, or actually Starkiller's morphing in 12. If there was another wave of equal number of Zerglings, they could actually overwhelm Starkiller. Just use the swarm advantage that the Zerg obviously has, and just keep punishing his opponents left and right, and just keep Starkiller off balance while Whitey does whatever he wants. Texas the Mutalisk Banelings, or actually grabbed another expansion of his own, but he just negated that. That early aggression, decided to play a little bit more defensive without any sort of spine crawlers here at his base, so that's very interesting. And Starkiller's already using his Zerglings, going to go ahead and push across the field. I mean, if you're going to build units, might as well use them for whatever scouting purposes, you know, do some damage, do anything. Starkiller immediately pulls back, and looks like Whitey's already prepared. He pulls his drones off immediately and just starts tracing away these Zerglings. I would actually, I think the Zergling count and the Queen count could actually be enough. These drones could actually go back to mining. There he goes. Looks like Whitey already has that in mind, and roaches on the field. So there goes that Zergling Zergling on Zergling battle that I was talking about earlier, and a little bit of a roach. But Starkiller did build a Baneling nest, so Banelings and Zerglings. So Banelings and Zerglings versus going up against roaches and Zerglings. So these roaches could actually tank plenty of this splash damage done by these Banelings, and really make these Banelings just null and void. It's going to be perfect hits by these Banelings to make these worthwhile. Too many roaches on the field now. All the Zerglings do get mopped up. One roach did go down, but all the Banelings are lost, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Once roaches get on the field, those Banelings pretty much become obsolete, really. Zerglings are still streaming across the map. Evo Chamber are being used, so double attack and a defense upgrade, while on Starkiller's side of the map, nothing yet. I mean, he only has that Roach Warren. He only has that spawning pool. Really no assimilators there to help him out. I mean, he has a double assimilator, but he's using a lot of that gas for the roaches. And he has plenty saved up, so hopefully he's going to go on to some sort of higher tech play, maybe Infestors, or more than likely Mutalisks, since they are pretty powerful in Heart of the Swarm. Zerglings at the front, they're just going to keep poking and partying, but that's the roach count is just a little bit too high. They're going to try a little bit of a run by, little bit of a surround. Going to go ahead and scout around the base. Zerglings are dying left and right. No creep spread. Creep spread is non-existent by both players. And it looks like Starkiller's just doing damage wherever he can. Takes down a Queen, very well played. Takes down a free Queen, why not? But roaches are there to clean everything up. Banelings might connect. They're playing Ring Around the Rosie. One manages to connect, hits about 3 or 4 drone kills. Looking at the workers kill count, pretty much even. Units kill count around the same. Looking at the resources lost, definitely in the favor of Whitey. Starkiller has lost about, I would say, 825 or 725 more minerals or resources, as it were, than his opponent, and still continuing that Zergling predation. I mean, this is pretty much an all-in at this point. No extra Queens to start churning out those larvae. He's using every single larva for his attacking units. No drones whatsoever. I mean, the drone count has pretty much stayed the same throughout the entire game. He's just grabbing another gas and another push out front. Whitey decides, you know what, this is game over. I'm gonna push forward with my superior roach number, and it could work, except he just ignored his opponent's entire army as well. These Zerglings going to stream across the map. Going to go ahead and get at the Queen might go down. These Banelings just run on by. They're going to go straight for the mineral line, and two Banelings connected with the same clump of drones will actually take them out. One looks like Whitey managed to pull them off, but here comes the Zerglings. They're trying to bottle them in. Nope, not going to happen. The Banelings are going to try and their mightiest to try to connect with those drones. There it goes. The detonation has been accomplished. Starkiller managed to pull up 3 spine crawlers with this roach backup. He actually might have enough to defend. At the same time, Starkiller's just doing massive amounts of damage to Whitey's economy. Looking at the income tab, we see 10 harvesters to 29. Roach just decides to run by all these spine crawlers. Decides to do plenty of damage of his own to the drones. Those roaches are going to get surrounded. There might not be any hope for these guys to swing on back, but the armor count, the upgrade count is definitely favors Whitey, especially with the Queen there regenerating, re-healing these roaches. Looks going to be a little back and forth action. Nice little concave, even though he's back up against the wall from Whitey, but that is it. The roach count too high for Starkiller. Managed to destroy every single roaches, and with all of the damage that was done to Starkiller's economy, I think this is GG. This is over, and there it goes. So that was it. A very fun game. Like I was saying earlier, it's either a Baneling Zergling fight or a Zergling Roach fight, and we saw both of them today. That was it for this replay. I hope you guys enjoyed. If not, leave comments down below on what I could do to make these more enjoyable for you. Or if you have one of your own replays you'd like for me to cast, feel free to upload them to one of the major replay sites. Drop.sc is very popular, as is GG Tracker. It's climbing up the ranks as well. So that's it for me. I am out of here.